What's up, everybody? Cody Shirk coming to you from a hot beach. I've got a crazy story for you today that you should know if you're a gold investor or thinking about investing in gold. This story is super important. Absolutely nobody's talking about it. I haven't heard one person, media outlet, or even analyst mention this issue, and it's pretty significant. So let's dive in. 2 weeks ago, the Wagner Group was ambushed in Mali by the Tuareg separatists. Let me back up, because you're probably thinking, what the heck is the Wagner Group doing in Africa? Well, in 2021, Russia sent the Wagner Group into Mali to establish relations with the government there. Of course, Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, and so they established a relationship with Mali because Russia knew they were going to have sanctions imposed on them, and they knew that they were going to have to establish alternate relationships with governments that have access to resources that Russia needs, like gold. Mali is the third largest gold producer in Africa, and Mali's GDP is 95% made up from gold exports. Mali is also the 13th largest gold producer in the world. So Russia sent the Wagner Group down to Mali to establish this relationship, and over the past couple of years, the Wagner Group has been operating there. Well, 2 weeks ago, the Wagner Group was in the northeast area of Mali near the Algeria border, and they're ambushed by Tuareg separatists. The Tuaregs are a group of nomadic people that go between Mali and Algeria, and they are supported behind the scenes by France, Al-Qaeda-backed groups, and Ukraine. Very strange bedfellows, right? Well, that's what happens behind the scenes in geopolitics when you look at the world and what's going on. It's not as it seems. And as an investor who's investing in resources and trends, you absolutely should understand what's going on, because there are huge risks here and no one's really realizing them, or very few people are. So Wagner Group got ambushed by the Tuaregs 2 weeks ago, and dozens of them were killed. Reports are saying up to 80 of these mercenaries were killed, which is the largest loss for the group since 2018, far before the Ukraine conflict. So what does this mean for investors, and why should you know about this? Well, one of the world's largest gold miners, Barrick, has its fourth largest mine in Mali. And government intel is saying that Russia has its eyes set on that mine. Barrick last month released a statement saying they have no intent of leaving Mali, and they're going to continue to invest in the country to exploit the gold resources there. But as an investor, I don't know if I want to make that bet. I'd be very careful. It's important to know that there are at least 7 other publicly traded companies also operating in Mali. I've made a list of them below in the link below if you want to check them out. If I'm an investor looking at gold companies, I would be super careful, because I don't want to be fighting against Russian mercenaries operating in an African nation when there is no certainty that the gold miners' rights to these mines is going to be upheld, especially when you're dealing with a government in Mali that's completely unpredictable. Broadly speaking, this is also a story, an event that is likely to happen much more around the world as resources are becoming more scarce and power dynamics are shifting, not only in the East but through the West. It's places like Africa, the middle ground, that are going to see the biggest changes. So companies that are currently operating there, like Barrick, and many, many other mineral and gold and rare earth mining companies, are in serious jeopardy of being disrupted by other powers such as Russia coming in and taking over the rights to this land. So if you're an investor looking at gold, pick companies that aren't operating in super risky locations. Pick companies that are operating in the US, in Canada, or nations that are much more stable. Australia. There is probably a premium to these investments because they are in safer locations, but sometimes there's a reason there's a premium, because these other places are really risky. And what's unfolding right now in Mali with the Wagner Group there threatening publicly traded companies who are operating mines right now is a real risk for investors. So I will follow up on this, and I have some other information coming out very soon about another major resource in Africa that's probably an even more risk than gold from Russian mercenaries currently, right now as I speak, in Africa, trying to take over these mines from publicly traded companies. I will follow up with that soon, but have a good rest of your day and enjoy nature. See ya.